a psychological topic, I want to make the argument for why a trading plan is critically important, and also make the argument for why this type of mindset, the mindset of an independent thinker, is absolutely critical for being a successful trader. Now, as human beings, of course, we've evolved for thousands of years to rely on social cues to tell us, if what we're doing is right or if it's wrong. And that's feedback from the environment that in most situations is valuable, but when we're acting in the market, it's totally contrary to what we want to be focusing on. We want to be able to tune out that information and focus solely on the things that we know we need to be focused on, and that means creating a plan for different scenarios. So really, if you're trying to build out a plan, we have to take into consideration all the different scenarios that could play out, right? If we just create one scenario, even though that's the most likely scenario, the reality of it playing out exactly how we expect it to play out is basically zero, right? So it's a situation where even if you're right broadly and your broad idea, still the logistics of how that idea plays out will happen in a way that's very different than the way you expect it to. And the way we can overcome this is by thinking in second derivatives, third derivatives, even fourth derivatives. And by that I mean creating a plan, as many if-then scenarios as possible, right? You want to structure them as like, if X happens, then I will do Y, right? If X, then Y. And when you do that, you move out onto the second derivative, the second order of thinking, right? If X, then Y. And then whatever Y is, right, you can create an additional if X, then Y scenario. And you move out onto the third derivative. And then you even do another if X, then Y, right? So you have these series of causes and effects that move you further out onto the horizon of the potentials that exist in the market. And the further out on that horizon you go, the less that information is priced in the market, because people generally don't think in second and third order derivatives. People generally think in hindsight, right? They're pricing in information that's already happened, has already occurred, or at best they're thinking in first order thinking. Very few people are thinking in second order, and if you go to third and fourth order, like, very few people are out on that curve. So again, but as you move out further on that curve of second and third order derivatives, even fourth order, it's going to add an exponential function into the number of potential scenarios that you have, to the point where you can easily get to hundreds, even thousands of scenarios. And that may seem a little bit ridiculous, but it's not ridiculous when you consider that the number of potential scenarios that actually exist in the market are actually even far greater than the hundreds or even thousand of potential scenarios that you're able to, think in that way of. So it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of planning and preparation. But this is really the area where you can really, if you're a disciplined person, you're a hard worker, this is where it's going to pay off, right? You can channel that hard work into creating these multiple sets of plans. And, when the market does play out, which it obviously does in real time, then you'll be able to identify very clearly which of those different scenarios that you've mapped out is most closest to the reality that's playing out in the market, right? You'll be able to do that very easily and very succinctly, because you've already thought about it, you've already entertained the scenario, you've already considered it as a possibility, and you already have it written down. So that, and then you can run with it, right? And the really interesting thing is, like, whatever scenario it is that ultimately plays out, and you've got your plan that closely aligns with that scenario, that's the phase in the market where, if you're adhering to that plan, everybody's going to line up to tell you that, your plan is a terrible plan and that you shouldn't be following it, even though out of the hundreds of different plans you have, it's the one that most clearly aligns with reality. right? So that's where the mindset part comes in, right? Now you've got your plan, and now it's the part where you want to embrace this mindset, right? Listen, smile, agree, and then do whatever the fuck you were going to do anyway. It's an important mindset to have as a trader, right? If we need people to pat us on the back and tell us that we're doing the right thing and, congratulate us, like, that's not a good thing. Like, we need to be independent thinkers and be able to follow our plan that is, and follow our plan even when thousands of people are telling us that it's a stupid plan, it's a dumb plan, and you're an idiot for even thinking about it. So, really just creating that independent mindset, that is absolutely critical as a trader. And, just being comfortable living in that environment, right, where, you genuinely don't care if thousands of people think your idea is ridiculous, right? If it doesn't matter, right? You have your plan, and you have the plan that closely aligns to reality, and you're just going to use that as your compass and your guiding North Star, no matter what anybody says. I know I've mentioned this like multiple times, but I think it's worth kind of following up on, just because it really is like the cornerstone of any successful trading career. Is being able to think this way, to be able to just chart your own course. It's absolutely critical. Anyway, I hope you guys like this content. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, just make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in future uploads.